Welcome to the Iraq Half Marathon 2018, the fastest half marathon in the world. Now joining the elite men and women's field today, 3,500 runners who are, many of them, hoping to beat their personal best today. Your course commentator, as ever, is Tim Hutchings.
Thank you, Greg. Well, it looks like night now, but the morning is almost upon us. It is indeed the 12th edition of the Iraq Half Marathon, held under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Saud bin Saka Al Kazimi, Supreme Council member and ruler of Ras Al Khaimah, and with support, of course, from Iraq Tourism Development Authority and the vital, loyal main sponsor, Saka Ports, who have been the handholder of this event and supporter since the word go 12 years ago. It's a fabulous event. The crowds are gathering, the sun rising into the sky now. But Ras Al Khaimah is becoming more and more significant on the tourism map and for lovers of sport.
This marathon is really a great event for people, different races, different ages, to come together and have a great time. Every year we go forward, we improve, we listen what we should have done, and next time we do it better.
I've been here for 9 years, for 9 marathons, and each year it seems to get better and better. We're only too pleased to sponsor anything of this nature, to bring in the best sportsmen for this wonderful, really wonderful half marathon, which is probably the best in the world.
For 12 years in a row, we've seen a fantastic organization and a growth in a number of participants. So this year we have a record, 3,470 people running versus 2,800 last year. So this is a fantastic growth in numbers. Our aim is to continue to grow the number of participants in the next 2 years to reach 5,000 to 6,000 participants.
Now let's have a look at the course that some 3,300 athletes are going to negotiate today. The start is on the Al Qawasim Corniche next to the Sheikh Zayed Mosque. They head north, of course, but take an almost immediate left on towards Al Nada Street. Then left at the Shuhada Clock roundabout just after passing 2 kilometres. Onto the south side of Kuzam Road, a long straight this. They turn right when they get down towards the Ruler's Palace at approximately 5 kilometres. This is where they get their first glimpse of the lagoon on their left. They head down past the golf course and the Ruler's Palace, past 6 kilometres. This is very fast, flat running, great for getting into a rhythm. They continue along that dogleg extension of Kuzam Road, past the Tau Links and the golf club. They make that left-hand U-turn at approximately 7.5 kilometres, continue on the north side of Kuzam Road, and then past the Ruler's Palace at 9 kilometres and right onto Kuzam Road, the south side, past the Rak Mall. right onto Al Muntasir Road here. Then a quick left-hand U-turn just to make up the distance there. Left at the traffic lights, back onto Kuzam Road, north side at 12k. You'll all be flying along here, I know. Fast, flat, really good surface. Don't forget there are inflatable arches at every single kilometre, so you can check your tempo. Right onto Muntasir Road, then quick left-hand U-turn, left at the traffic lights, and approximately 14.5 kilometres. You take the right onto Al Qawasim Corniche, run all the way along the Corniche under Al Hissin Bridge at about 18k. A couple of small bumps there, then a U-turn on Al Khor Road before heading towards the finish line on that final charge. We had a world record here last year, of course, in the women's half marathon, since broken, but it was by Perez Jepchirchir, an astonishing run nonetheless. Well, we can have a look here at some of the results, the women's history of this race. Adere Kosgei, Dertun, Abela Gesse, Mary Kaitani, 2 of her 3 victories there in 2011 when she set a world record, and 2012. And Mary came back in 2015 with that 66.02 clocking. Perez Jepchirchir setting the world record last year, as I say, since broken. But Kaitani is back today. She's the world record holder in a women's only marathon. Remember, in London last April, she ran 2:17.01, and she will be tough to beat today. The men's race, well, Sami Wanjiru setting a world record here back in 2007. And Patrick Macau in 2009, 58.52. That world record of Wanjiru, by the way, was unofficial because I think there was no drug testing on the day. But Bidan Karoki is back, the defending champion in the men's race. He won last year in 59.10, still getting stronger. Very, very able athlete. He was 4th in the World Championships, 10,000 metres last summer in London, so he's a great track racer. We'll use all that speed and racing now here today. Well, let's have a look at some of the leading ladies. Now, Joycelyn Jepkosgei is here. She and Mary Kaitani will have a real ding-dong today, along with Fancy Chemutai. Jepkosgei just happens to be the world record holder, 64.51. She ran in Valencia back in October. John Chalimo Melli, Bridget Kosgei. You can see these athletes have all run 66 minutes and bits. That is supremely fast elite racing for world-class ladies. And some athletes come here with hopes to make big improvements. Takashima of Japan and Hottenrott of Germany making her debut. Bidan Karoki is the defending champion. Lombasio Kombo was the world number 2 last year. He's only 20 years old, the Kenyan. James Wangarai, very experienced as well. Josfat Tanui, Albert Kangogo. The quality of this men's field is quite supreme as well. Indeed, there are 11 men in this men's lineup who have broken 60 minutes for the half marathon. That is the benchmark. Augustin Choge there was 7. He's an interesting athlete. He's a former Commonwealth champion at 5,000 metres. He's a 1:44.800 man. He has the greatest range in the world. Gorme Gebreselassie of Eritrea. Watch him. A late entry to this race. He only is world champion in the marathon from 2015 in the steaming temperatures of Beijing. Jamal Yima, a lot of hopes resting on him. He's a great 10,000 metre runner. Maybe less experienced at the half marathon, but he could be a real dark horse here today. Ezekiel Kemboy, well, he will be a pacemaker for one of the elite ladies. He will be pacing Joycelyn Jepkosgei. I can tell you that the top 3 elite ladies have each brought along their own personal pacemakers. Once again, a chance there on your screens to see this elite field, the likes of which has probably never been gathered before. The world record holder for the women's only marathon, Mary Kaitani, against the world record holder for the half marathon. Let's give these ladies a big cheer and wish them well on their way.
5 seconds to the start of the RAC half marathon. The elite ladies are off. We are going to be pushing this pace right from the start. You have a world record holder in this race, lining up in the chute. If you have your lower numbers, you know where you can go in. Otherwise, mass start is going behind.
Well, the elite ladies have negotiated their first couple of corners in this early kilometre. They've been running for just a minute and less than a minute and a half now. There you can see Joycelyn Jepkosgei just to the right of centre. Tucked in behind her pacemaker, Ezekiel Kemboy. To the right of picture there, in the all-black strip, that's Mary Kaitani, probably the smallest in the field. Kaitani, but she is a fierce racer, very aggressive racer, Kaitani. Loves to go out hard, but also has learned fabulous pace judgment as well. I remember commentating on her in the New York Marathon a few years back, where she went off at suicidal tempo and paid the penalty through the second half. But she has learnt the hard way to gauge her effort really in a smart manner over the full marathon distance, and knows how to get it right over the full marathon distance as well. She very, very rarely loses a marathon, does Kaitani. Even last year it took a world record to beat her. But Joycelyn Jepkosgei, well, what can you say about this young lady? She had a most astonishing season in 2017. When Perez Jepchirchir set the world record here last year, it was 65.06. We thought that might stand for a while, but she smashed it 7 weeks later and then improved it again back in October by 1 second to 64.51.
Behind the elite men and women runners taking part today, of course, there are thousands of other runners, and I caught up with some of them earlier to find out why they're taking part.
I'm Jerry from the Philippines.
Kevin, this is Lisa, and we're both from London.
My name is Kulmia. My origin is Somalia.
Tamlin, originally from Australia but live in Raq.
I was born in the Netherlands.
My name's Tammy. I'm from Abu Dhabi, but I'm England originally.
Grew up in the UK.
I'm Vanessa from Dubai.
My name is Savita Kapoor and I'm come from India originally.
My name is Rick and I'm from the Philippines.
So my name's Lisa and I'm British.
Ross Mackey from the UK, Leeds in fact.
We usually do this every year, so this is a really great opportunity to be part of the team.
Well organised, very friendly.
I thought it'd be really cool to be able to run a half marathon.
Really enjoy it, that's why we're back.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It's one of the most organized runs and a lot of support, so we really enjoy coming to Ras Al Khaimah.
It's been traditional since we've been here, isn't it? It's the one we've all always turned up for. I've got no idea why it started, but it's flat, yeah.
Flattest circuit that I've certainly run on over, internationally throughout the world. So yeah, I like it here.
To have fun, I love running with these people. They are lovely people, and that's why I'm running here.
My personal best, I don't actually know what my time is, my personal best, if I'm completely honest, but I'm aiming for a good time.
I managed to win the veterans category, so decided to come back and see if I can break the course record for veterans this year.
It's our first time, so there's nothing to beat.
Finish line is the goal.
Honestly, if I can do it in 2.5 hours, I'll be very happy.
I think I'll be very disappointed if I don't get under an hour and a half for this run.
I think we just turn up really to complete than compete, really, don't we?
Domination.
Yeah, world domination, that's what we're after.
I run about 4 to 5 times a week.
We followed the 12-week program. Yeah, so we just,
I followed her.
Yeah, so we train 3 times a week.
Well, we started running in about mid-October, so we just started at 10k and just built up 1k a week.
We're normally doing long runs during weekends.
Exactly, around 30 minutes we do practice every day, or just walking or jogging.
We go for a run in the morning, and the main thing about running in the morning is we then go for Costa, and we basically sit having a coffee and eating donuts for about an hour and a half afterwards.
People need to experience the joy of running. They don't know.
It's not about time, it's about achieving a personal goal.
It's a great release. It's a fantastic way to keep yourself in good shape.
It will make you happy.
I met a lot of friends throughout the last 8 months I started running.
Take part, enjoy it.
Just run.
Raq Half Marathon 2018!
Raq Half Marathon 2018!
The Raq Half Marathon is known to produce lightning quick times, and this year is definitely going to be no exception. We're just waiting now for the mass field to fire off this starting line now and get around that course as quickly as they possibly can. The excitement here is absolutely electric. As you can see, over 3,500 people behind me lining up ready to take part in the 2018 Raq Half Marathon.
Well, of course, the race is staged under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Saud bin Sakr Al Kazimi, the ruler of RAK, and His Highness is arriving on site now. Great to have his support for this world-class half marathon. The two red runners. The ladies have been running for just under 4 minutes now, so you've got about 12 minutes to go for that 7 o'clock start. There's a look at the elite men's field. Biran Karuki, of course, the defending champion. Perhaps has to start as favourite. Those elite athletes not yet at the start line. They're still getting on with their warm-up and their strides. We understand that the men are going for a very quick time as well. Under 59 minutes they have asked for. The 10K split that has been requested from their pacemakers is 27.50. Now that is world class for 10 kilometres, and yet it's not even halfway, of course, here today. So standards here at RAK expected to be as high as ever in this 12th edition. Well, we can take a look at the ladies' field. So incredibly ambitious and aggressive early pace has been suggested. Whether or not that unfolds remains to be seen. There is Joycelyn Jepkosgei with that rolling shoulder style of hers. A little bit misty. I don't know whether it's thick enough to call fog. A little bit misty in Ras Al Khaimah this morning. It was, as I said, distinctly chilly when I got up at 4 a.m. And it's still not exactly warm out there, but these are pretty much ideal conditions for distance running. You almost need to be a little bit cold on the start line. At the Berlin Marathon, where the men's world record has been set several times in recent years, on race morning it's always about 7 or 8 degrees centigrade, actually quite cool, quite cold. And then it warms up a little bit during the race period and through the morning. But anything down around 12, 14, 15 degrees centigrade is pretty much ideal. And then once you get into the high teens, it becomes detrimental to performance, I think you could say. 15 degrees centigrade, well, if that's the case, then it is, as I say, pretty much ideal. And for many of these African athletes, they wouldn't need to worry about the temperature until it started getting to 20 degrees centigrade plus. Well, the lead group here, with what, 4 ladies and 3 male pacemakers, is building up a bigger and bigger gap over that chasing pack. This was to be expected. Can tell you though, when Kip Kiruit, and she's got Caroline on her vest, on her bib, ran that personal best in Houston last month, 66.48. It represented an improvement of over 3 minutes. Fabulous leap forward. Well, the elite men get underway at this 12th edition of the RAK Half Marathon. The overall entry today, including the Team Relay Challenge, is around 3,400 athletes. The vast majority, though, are going as individuals in this half marathon. There are about 110 teams in the Team Relay Challenge. Plenty of those turquoise RAK Half Marathon vests for 2018 in evidence. Well, we can join the men's elite field now as the masses continue to pour through the start line. They've been running for just a couple of minutes. And at 27.50 tempo, these gentlemen will be really tanking along. Just checking for you. That equates, of course, to around 247.5 per kilometre. 247 per kilometre, in fact. In the yellow vest there is Hugh Jones, the IAAF Grade A course measurer, who's responsible for making sure that this course is measured absolutely perfectly. I can tell you, talking to Hugh last night, he said that he measured the course last year and he measured it again here in the last couple of days, and there was about 8 centimetres difference. That's not bad, is it, for 21.1 kilometres, which is, what, 13.1 miles, literally about 3 or 4 inches difference. Hugh, of course, is a former marathon star himself, a 2:09 marathon runner, a winner of the London Marathon back in the day. I think it was 1982 that Hugh won the London Marathon. He's also been a pretty mean competitor in cross-country races and plenty of other marathons as well, so he knows this business in and out. He's the race director for many big events around the world, quite a few in India. Back to the ladies now, 18 minutes on the clock, and I can tell you that they've gone through 5 kilometres in 15:15, the ladies. 5K in 15:15. Well, that is pretty much on world record tempo, represents 3:03 per kilometre. And as you can see, Jep Kosgei, Chemutai, Fancy Chemutai, Mary Kaitani and Caroline Kipkirui have about 15 seconds on the main pack there. They were 17 seconds down on the very front end. Bridget Kosgei, Gladys Chirono, Dejitu Asmaro, they're all there. All the big names are expected to be there. And they too are moving incredibly quickly, way below 68-minute tempo. So it's deceptive, isn't it? Because with 19.5 minutes on the clock, these ladies look pretty relaxed. They're loping along, but they are moving lightning quick. 3:03 per kilometre they are moving at. "20 minutes on the clock. They're just approaching 7 kilometres now. So they're heading down. They've gone past the golf course and they will shortly negotiate that left-hand U-turn. Constantly hidden by the other bodies in front of her in the full black strip. 3-time winner here in Ras Al Khaimah, Mary Kaitani. Also they Fancy Chemutai, the tallest of the ladies with the big ponytail. As they negotiate that left-hand turn now at the southernmost point of the course. True to plan then, the men have gone out very hard indeed. 13 minutes on the clock. And they pass 5 kilometres in 13:52. Now, they wanted 27:48 at 27:50 at 10,000 metres. Well, you can work it out for yourselves. They're inside that schedule. Indeed, they've almost gone a little bit too quickly for this first 5 kilometres. That's just over 3 miles. But that's a massive pack. It's what, some 15 or 16 men strong. I think 16 men I count there. Hugh Jones in the yellow jacket cycling the shortest route. He told them at the technical meeting to make sure they follow him. He will be cycling the ideal line. You can see pacemakers there checking their watches, making sure they're getting it right, and they are getting it very right indeed, if a little bit too quick. But that's not a bad thing. It's good to have a cushion, a little bit of a time in the bank, so to speak. And that is a big pack. They're obviously comfortable. 1 or 2 people are beginning to struggle and peeling off the back, towards the back of the group at the moment. You can see this square haircut, so to speak, of one of the late entrants in this event, Gurmeet Gebrselassie, the world champion at marathon from Eritrea back in 2015. This will be a war of attrition. We will see names peel off the back of this group at this pace. Well, I can tell you that Perez Jepchirchir, when she broke the world record last year, went through 10K in 31:06. Now, of course, that world record has been improved upon. But Joycelyn Jep Kosgei, in her world record in Prague in April, went through in 30:04 at 10K. And then in her improved world record, by just 1 second, remember, in Valencia in October, she went through in 30:07. So both of those races, she went out way, way faster than a steady tempo. 30:40 here today would be supremely fast all the same, and probably smarter running from these ladies. Well, 30 minutes on the clock. And that elite field have just gone through 10 kilometres there, I think. And I reckon they were indeed on about 30:40 for 10K. There it is, 30:35 for 10 kilometres. Just about perfect pacing at 10 kilometres for these ladies. They went out in 15:15, remember, at 5K. They've just run a 15:20 for the second 5 kilometres. Well, they are much, much quicker than Perez Jepchirchir last year when she set what was then a world record. Perez Jepchirchir, 12 months ago, set a time of 31:06 at 10k. They've just gone through in 30:35, so there's some 31 seconds up on the tempo of last year. And while they're way behind the pace of Joycelyn Jepkosgei during her 2 world records of last year, they are actually on a smarter pace. So this is a very, very encouraging performance unfolding here from these 4 ladies. I count 15, maybe 16 in this group now. Well, nobody in the world has broken 60 minutes for the half marathon yet this year. If we see that mark produced today, then it will be a world best. And I rather fancy that might be the case. As long as this tempo is maintained. Another athlete to look out for there is Lelisa Desisa, who is in this lead group. The 28-year-old Ethiopian. He was winner here in RAK in 2014. Just hates to lose to Desisa. He's won his last 4 half marathons, although he actually hasn't run one for a couple of years, but he rarely finishes outside the top 3. And he's towards the back of the group at the moment in the centre. There's no point in me telling you he's in a blue vest. That's the women's field going through. You can see Fancy Chemutai there in the centre of those 3 across the front. Mary Kaitani towards the back of the group. I don't know if she's hanging on there, but just little gaps beginning to appear with, for the ladies, what, some 36 minutes on the clock. Well, the ladies have gone through 10k. It has been confirmed at 30:35. Chemutai, Jepkosgei, Kaitani and Caroline Kipkirui having the run of her life. Well, the men have been running for 23 minutes, the ladies for 38 minutes, as you can see. Fancy Chemutai there, centre of picture. Caroline Kipkirui is still there, so is Mary Kaitani. Grabs a bottle of water, Mary Kaitani to the back on the right-hand side of picture. Gets a little drink on board. It'll be a little while yet. They've gone through about 13 kilometres at the moment. Well, 8 kilometres to go. That's almost exactly 5 miles, if you like to think in pounds, shillings and pence, English style. But kilometres is the international currency. And Mary Kaitani, to right of picture, tucked in behind Lawi Kiptui, her pacemaker, is looking fabulous. Looking very comfortable indeed. She has enormous strength, enormous reserves of strength, does Kaitani. Never really got into track running, funnily enough, although I've no doubt she could be a supreme, or could have been a supreme track racer had she wanted at 5k and 10k. But she's focused on the roads. Well, the men have been running for best part of 28 minutes now, and they passed through 10 kilometres. It's still a huge pack indeed. 1 or 2 people, as predicted, are beginning to find the tempo a little too tasty. There's, 12 men in this pack now going through 10 kilometres, and look at the split, 27:48. That is world record schedule, nearly right on top of world record schedule. Gachaga, Okombo, Kibet, Wangarai, Kiptu, Bidan Karoki, the defending champion, Kimeli, Jamal Yima making his debut. What a run he's having, the Ethiopian. So they are almost being dragging each other along, but I wonder how many of them are hanging on at the back of this group and how many of them are really comfortable. Full marks to the pacemakers. They went through 5k in 13:52. This second 5k has been about 13:56, so brilliant metronomic pacemaking going on out there, and that really does help set it up for the racers who have got to cover the full distance. Karoki there to the left of the group as you look at the moment, still looking pretty comfortable, the reigning champion. The women then passing 13 kilometres. Those inflatable arches are positioned at every single kilometre point along the course. And still 4 ladies in there. Mary Kaitani, the tiny figure to the right in all black. Fancy Chemutai to the left of picture in the all blue. And the real surprise package here, Caroline Kipkirui in the centre, behind Gilbert B in the orange. And in the background now, Joycelyn Jepkosgei, the world record holder, just beginning to lose a little bit of ground. Now this is a real turn-up. Broke the world record twice last year after coming here to RAC and finishing in 3rd place. She had a meteoric rise to the top of the world rankings through the rest of 2017 after departing Ras Al Khaimah, but she's dropping back pretty quickly now. You can see in the background there, Joycelyn Jepkosgei is really beginning to struggle. Her personal pacemaker is staying with her. That is, of course, the way it should be. Ezekiel Kemboy in the light blue is trying to gesture her on, but she is in trouble, and that gap is growing with every single stride. ...15 kilometres, 46.07 by Fancy Chemutai. She's the leader of these ladies. Mary Kaitani, well, they're saying she was a second down. She's about a metre down, so for intents and purposes, she and Caroline Kipkirui are on the same time. But this will be a real turn-up, if indeed it is the case. With 46, nearly 47 minutes on the clock, we have 3 ladies away, and the athlete who has dropped back the least expected to wither under the pressure of this very, very quick tempo is Joycelyn Jepkosgei. She's aiming at the World Half Marathon Championships in a few weeks' time in Valencia, Spain. But she comes here with real confidence, and that's a precious commodity. And we knew she'd come here with that confidence in abundance. She's world-class on the road, on the track, and the country. And we knew that Caroline Kipkirui was well capable of holding her own here against the very best. But doesn't she look relaxed? So Kibet, Karoki, Yima, and this group beginning to splinter, isn't it? We've got 5 away, and they are heading now towards 15K. So only 37 minutes on the clock, so they've got a few minutes yet before they get to that point. They're coming up towards 14 kilometres, but single file look stretched out behind this leading group, behind Kibet, who is beginning to turn the screw here and hurt the others. And this is a waiting game. It's a game of patience. If you hit the front, you've just got to apply the pressure in a steady, controlled manner. Get out in front, and if nobody's up alongside you, then while they might be tucked in behind you and they might be comfortable, you've got to tell yourself, if they were that comfortable, they'd be up alongside me. They'd maybe be taking the lead and putting on the pressure, but they're not. So when you're out in front, you get your nose in front, you've got to just keep telling yourself, it's almost like a mantra, you've got to keep telling yourself, this is hurting them more than me, this is hurting them more than me. And that is what Kibet is doing now. Karoki, mind you, the defending RAC champion, moves up alongside him in the orange vest, and he is a great racer, is Bidan Karoki. For the men, Kibet, Karoki, Yima, Okombo. Gachaga is 10 seconds further down, along with Edwin Kiptu. And then a further 8 seconds back, Wilfred Kimitai and Bernard Kimeli. Lalisa De Cisa is what, some 25 seconds or so down on the lead group at 15K. But 41.43 at 15 kilometres for this lead group, as they now have gone through the start-finish line, or just go through the start-finish line now. While it is quick, let's just check the charts. We are heading here for something just under 59 minutes in the men's race. In the ladies' race, unofficial world record for the ladies at 10 miles. Well, the ladies have just gone through a special 10-mile mat or over it, and I understand that a new world record, or a world best to be correct, has been set. 49 minutes 29 seconds. It was 50.01 by Paula Radcliffe, but 49.29. They've smashed the world best. Well, we're waiting for that 20-kilometre point to come up. Remember, Joycelyn Jepkosgei and her world record was on 61.28. They're on 61.34 here, Mary Keitany. 61.34 at 20k. Keitany just some 6 seconds off the pace of Joycelyn Jepkosgei when she set the world record in Valencia. Now, can she get her head down now, Keitany, in the black vest? Tucked in behind her there, Fancy Chemutai, the new name on the racing scene. She's 23 years old. Keitany is fully 36, 13 years older. But 61.34 at 20k. Well, it means they've been averaging just inside 3:05 per kilometre. And Mary Keitany, with that slightly cocked head, cocked to one side, totally focused. She's in the zone, isn't she? Lowie Lalang, Lowie Kiptui rather, her pacemaker, pushing on now. But we really need him to step to one side and let us see the great race unfold between Fancy Chemutai and Mary Keitany. Keitany in the driving seat, but is Fancy Chemutai playing a cagey tactical game here, tucked into the slipstream of the women-only marathon world record holder. She's aiming at the World Half Marathon, is Fancy Chemutai. On this sort of form, she will go to Valencia as favourite. Mary Keitany's attention, of course, is focused on the London Marathon in mid-April, but they are desperately close towards the world record. Mary Keitany in the slipstream of Lowie, her pacemaker throughout. And right behind her again, looks like she's playing a cagey tactical game. Fancy Chemutai, their eyes cast down on the road, maybe on the heels of tiny Mary Keitany. 3 times a winner, Keitany here. Is she heading for victory number 4? But she cannot shake the attentions of Fancy Chemutai. Remember, the first 10 kilometres was 30:34. The second 10 kilometres was 31 minutes exactly. They were way inside world record schedule at halfway. It slowed a little bit through this second half, but it's still going to be mighty close in terms of hitting that world record mark set back in October by Joycelyn Jepkosgei. Jepkosgei back in 5th place at the moment. Remember that world mark, 64 minutes 51 seconds. And Mary Keitany charging towards the line now. They negotiate this final curve. She and Fancy Chemutai really need to lose these pacemakers now. Let's see the race carry on between those two. They've only got a matter of 30 seconds or so to go, and they haven't really started sprinting yet. I'm not sure they've got a clear sight of the finish line. Checking her watch even, with a couple of 100 metres to go, Fancy Chemutai. And now they come round the bend, they see the finish line, and the realisation is there, and the sprint begins. These are half marathon runners in the case of Keitany. They're not used to having to sprint like this, but Chemutai's got a nose in front. She's got a metre on the marathon world record holder for Mary Keitany. She charges towards the line. Watch the clock, not the one above the line, the one bottom right of your picture. We're looking, remember, for 64.51. It's going to be so tight on the line there. Almost exactly on world record schedule there as they crash through the line. Chemutai takes it by a couple of strides from Mary Keitany. It couldn't have been tighter, but I'm not sure that they were aware just how close they were to the finish line when the sprint started. Maybe if they'd started sprinting a few seconds earlier, that world record would have gone 64.53. The clock shows the winning time has yet to be officially confirmed. That is what has come up initially, but the world record will have been missed by just 1 or 2 seconds here at Ras Al Khaimah 2018. A fabulous run. And coming through for 4th place, Joan Chelimo Meli. That's a brilliant run from her. And amidst all the excitement, we missed 3rd place, Caroline Kipkirui. What a run from her, improving her personal best by over a minute and a half. That's a huge personal best for Meli too. No wonder she punches the air in satisfaction.
I'm greatly happy for winning this race. Being my 4th race abroad, half marathon, I'm really happy.
When you first enter the race, do you always think about winning, or are you just thinking about reaching your targets, and if you win, it's good news?
I always feel to achieve my target, and definitely I win, and I'm greatly happy for winning. But I was coming for my target. I was not sure of winning the race because it was a strong field, but I win and I'm happy.
So just over 55 minutes on the clock, and Kuroki has built up a very, very useful lead. He's virtually into the final kilometre now, approaching the 20-kilometre point. Surely he can't be caught now. That gap back to Yima, the debutant in second place who checks his watch, is deceptive. The foreshortening effect of the camera shot makes it look closer than it is, but he's got a gap of about 12 or 14 seconds there. And Kuroki goes through 20 kilometres in 55.55. He's still on schedule for something a long, long way under 59 minutes. I don't think the world record is realistic. Yima back there in second place, being chased very hard by Alex Kibet. And Kibet, all credit to him, he did so much of the aggressive running after halfway to break up the pack. But he's on a charge now, is Bidan Kuroki. The defending champion is surely heading for a retention of his title. A nervous little glance over his shoulder there, but that was hardly necessary because the gap is yawning. It's growing and it's growing, and the finish is getting closer and closer. He's well inside the final kilometre. It's been a devastatingly fast pace from the off. 13.53 at 5K, 27.48 at 10K. And that, remember, was a pack of some 10 or 12 men at 10K. And then the third 5 kilometres was 13.56. And the fourth 5 kilometres works out at 14.11. There was a slight slowing to that point. No wonder he's able to raise his game and gallop through these last few hundred metres. What a run it's been. Totally dominant and textbook perfect in its execution. And that gap to the yellow shoes of Yima is certainly growing. It's now some 16 or 17 seconds as he closes in on the finish line. What a great day's work it's been for Bidan Kuroki. And I'll tell you what, is Alex Kibet actually closing on Yima there. Yima, who was a fabulous runner in the World Cross Country earlier on this year, and then a top 5 at the World Championships over 10,000 metres last summer as well. He's a really classy performer at only 21 years old, but Kibet is closing him down. There might yet be a sprint for second place in the men's race. Confirmation of the splits at 20 kilometres there, as we can see that Bidan Kuroki did go through in 55.55. Metronomic first 20 kilometres from him, and the breakdown really is huge credit to the pacemakers as he begins the long sweep left now for him. Coming towards us now, he's into the last couple hundred metres, checks his watch again, raises his game once again. Looks more like the track runner that we know him to be as he charges towards the line. The crowd loving this one. We've already had a very, very near world record in the women's race. We'll look at the speed of this one. It's going to be a course record, surely. Remember, it's 58.52, the course record to Patrick Macau. Well, this is going to be much, much quicker. Kuroki retains his title, comes to the line now. Look at the clock, 58.41, maybe 58.42 unofficially. Grabs proudly that Kenyan flag and is champion once again in this 12th edition of the Ras Al Khaimah Half Marathon. Unchallenged through the final few kilometres in a truly dominant run as Yima comes through, and look at the clock for him, 58.59, maybe 59 dead. That is the quickest debut in history, and what a run from Alex Kibet in third place. Boy, oh boy, Rack's magic has worked its wonders once again. But there's still plenty of racing to come as other athletes are out on the course. Remember, that's Kuroki home and dry, Yima as well in second place and Kibet in third, but the work goes on for those in fourth and fifth, and it's Okombo, the world number 2 last year, the youngster, tall, lanky figure, comes across the line for fourth place with a sprint there, the 20-year-old, and his time, well, 54 seconds down. Okombo running 59.36. Gachaga, Kimitai, both of them a long way under 60 minutes as well. The magical 1 hour barrier broken by all 6 of those men. Edwin Kiptu, 1 minute 12 down. That puts him under the hour as well. The first 7 men in Ras Al Khaimah 2018 under 60 minutes. Very tight for the rest of them. Lalisa De Cisa, they're better known as a marathon star. Good run from him there, just outside 60 minutes. And this is still very, very crisp half marathon racing indeed to get anywhere near 60 minutes. And they're almost packing now as they come down that home straight, sprinting for the tape. Well, there is confirmation of Bidan Karaoke's winning time, 58.42. I always find it a little bit misleading when we just get the add-on time for the rest of the finishes. I like the actual times they run myself, but then maybe I'm getting old-fashioned. But 58.42, a course record by 10 seconds for Bidan Karaoke to retain his title from last year. And what odds on a hat-trick? Well, Fancy Jemutai winning in 64.52, missed the world record by 1 second. It could hardly have been tighter. Mary Kaitani, the second on this occasion, second last year as well. Now the third fastest athlete in history. Caroline Kipkurui broaching massive new ground with third place in 65.07. And the first 7 women under 67 minutes in Ras Al Khaimah. And a couple of subplots as well. Joycelyn Jepkosgei, the world record holder, in 5th place, 66.46. That's with the after effects of flu, we understand. And Zimmeror there in 6th place, the fastest debut in history for a half marathon. What a run. Confirmation now of that win for Bidan Karaoke, 58.42, that new course record. Jamal Yima, 59 minutes exactly. That indeed another fastest ever debut in a half marathon. Alex Kibet, a personal best for him, 59.06. Okombo, 59.36. Great consistency from the youngster. Gachaga, Kimitai, Kiptu, all a long way under 60 minutes as well. Very, very good packing indeed from the Kenyans and the Ethiopians in Ras Al Khaimah. Well, for the elite athletes, the fast and furious racing is over. But for the masses, the rewards are different. They enjoy their day out in the sun and the mists of Ras Al Khaimah. Thousands of them running around the streets of the Emirates on this Friday morning. Glorious conditions indeed, and the entry's bigger than ever, and it continues to go from strength to strength, this race. Running booming throughout the world. New markets opening up all the time. And of course Dubai and the rest of the United Arab Emirates, Ras Al Khaimah, enjoying that boom. Well, the number of runners in the half marathon, over 22,000 have taken part now in Ras Al Khaimah over the last 12 years. In the team relay challenge, nearly 6,000. And in the number of finishers terms, nearly 15,000 in the half marathon and well over 5,000 in the team relay challenge. And in terms of the oldest and youngest runners, well, the oldest female runner, Joyce Archibald, beats the oldest male by a couple of years, and Zaina Sousa 11, along with Jesse Jonathan Everett at 11 as well. Well, I shall pass you over to Greg now, who is with our men's winner.
Actually, I'm very happy for defending my title and running my best time, so I'm very happy.
Tell us how you trained for this race this time.
Actually, this time around I didn't train like last year, but I was not expecting to run first time like today. The condition was very good, more than last year, and that's why we did a good time. I think course is very, very good.
Runners continue to cross the finish line here at the RAK Half Marathon, and of course they bring their friends, relatives and supporters with them as well. We caught up with some of them earlier to have a little chat. Why are you here today, so early in the morning?
To see my brother run a marathon.
So your dad's running, and Have you seen him yet?
Yes, I've seen him there.
Supporting my brother. He's running right now, so we're waiting him. First time to attend the Rock Marathon, so it's fun. It's amazing.
So happy to be here, and my brother's taking part, so it's just a fantastic event.
Run it last year, I'm supporting this year. I'll be back next year.
So when are they likely to come past, you know?
Still got a bit left, but we're cheering everyone else.
Hugh, comments, your thoughts on the marathon for this 2018 edition?
No, it's a fantastic race, good conditions, all went smoothly, and it was so close, and I think the men's as well, particularly, although they were 19 seconds off the course record, which sounds quite a lot, there's very few times that have been posted, I'm not sure how many, but I think only 2 or 3 times that have been posted faster than that. So it's, right up there with all-time bests, really.
What's the current situation today here at the RAC Half Marathon 2018?
This year has seen the largest number of registered half marathon runners that this race has ever had in its 12th year. So numbers are still growing up year after year. There is a plan working with RAC Tourism and Development Authority to grow this race. We're already planning for the next one, the number 13. What we've always tried to do with this race is not only put on a great athletic performance, but also bring in something a little bit interesting, change it up a little bit for the local runners that come. So hopefully we provide a varied and interesting race, and of course all happening in wonderful Ras Al Khaimah.
I got 132.45. It's my first time under 135, so I'm happy with that. It was tough, but great course, and I'm happy to be done.
How was your race today?
Yeah, it's nice. Just tired.
Did you break your record?
Yeah.
So what do you feel today?
Today it's good. It's the best race.
It was fantastic. Of course, it's hurting a lot. I mean, like, really pain. But yeah, it was a good race.
That's a PB, actually.
Wow.
I'll take that. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah.
It's very good. Last couple of K struggled, but I'm glad it's over, man. Breakfast time. I need a drink.
New PB! Woo!
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
3 minutes. Oh, amazing.
Yeah, okay. I didn't stick to my plan. I sort of ended up enjoying it more than racing it, so that was good.
Race director always gets the last medal out. There you go. Congratulations.
Well, that's all we've got time for. Thanks a lot there to our course commentator, as ever, Tim Hutchings. Of course, many goals and dreams have been made here today in Ras Al Khaimah at the RAC Half Marathon. We hope you enjoyed watching. We'll be back again next time. Of course, next year, same time, same place. But from now, from me, Greg Fairley, and the whole team, thanks for watching and goodbye.